Hello ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 11. Okay, hair. Just trying to be free this morning. Alright. Season 11, Episode 13, Tempers in Tokyo. Now, this episode was good. It definitely was good, so we don't have any issues there. We open it up with Tanya crying, and she's crying because she feels like Nene is going at her. Nene's attitude was definitely in rare form today. We learn why. Basically, like we thought, it's because of Greg. It's because of Greg, everything that she's been going through with Greg. And so I understand why Nene is irritated and why she doesn't care about, she doesn't care about it. She's not concerned with maybe things that she would put some effort into being concerned about. My problem is that Nene, she definitely started it, whether it was intentional or not, because you can still be mean, you can still be shady, nasty to someone and not intentionally do it. But because Nene was in her own world, she didn't care about Tanya's feelings. Tanya is a nice person. She's a very nice person. She's very good spirits, positive vibes, positive energy. So I'm sure she's, just like she said, she's never, later on, she talked about how she's never been in a situation like that or, treated like that. And so she's crying and she keeps crying and they're all trying to get her to calm down because they're used to this. They're used to this. They're unfazed by this. Again, it doesn't mean that it's good. That's just how it is in this group, which is crazy. So they leave the sushi restaurant and their ambassador, their tour ambassador or country ambassador, I forgot what her official title is, she got the McDonald's because she said she's sure that what they ate probably didn't fill them compared to what they're used to. And I said, she knows him so well. She's paying attention. She's definitely getting a bonus once all of this is done. She deserves a bonus once all of this is done. Nene decided to leave in a taxi. She decided to go. Marlo is sitting next to Tanya, and I said, that's not a good idea. Marlo, obviously friends with Nene, and she's going to go and overall take Nene's side. Marlo's whole thing was she felt like Tanya, the way how she handled it was wrong because Nene clearly didn't care. She was trying to downplay the whole thing. And then and Eva decided to, okay, let me go and jump in before this takes a harsh left. And she talked about what they're going to do. So they're going to go to the red light district. So she said dress appropriately. I'm thinking, I don't think Eva and definitely not the rest of them really understand what the red light district in Japan, or at least where they're going, the legal side, what it actually looks like. I knew it was more conservative than what they were thinking, but I wanted to see what they were going to wear anyway, so I kept my mouth shut as if I was on the trip. Now, Eva and Marlo, again, they've been having bad blood with each other for such a long time. And Eva she's been tiptoeing. Marlo's been poking her about her weight, poking her about her fashions, just poking her because that's what she does. She pokes until you poke back, and then she backs off. That's not the right way a grown-up's supposed to handle things, but that's how Marlo handles things. So when you have someone that does that, you need to respond and reply accordingly. So that's when we get this big blow up. And it was crazy because I felt like the ambassador was like, I am over this group. I'm going to call a contact to make sure that they can take care of these ladies because I can't do this. No, that's not what actually happened, but you had see, that's how you know things take a left. Shamari, Candy, and Portia in one corner cackling away at what is going on here. You hear Candy's, oh! And then they were a mess. Alright, just a quick rundown of some of the things that were said. Marlo talked about, again, kind of mentioned Diva's weight and how her fashions in general. And Eva said, look, I wear labels all the time. I just don't talk about them. And then clearly the type of labels that you don't know because you don't realize them or you don't recognize them. It's like, yeah, because they're fraudulent. And I said, fraudulent? Eva, what are you going to do? There's a lot that you can go with the fraudulent thing with Miss Marlo Hampton. Come on now, what are you going to do? So then, as far as the fraudulent thing, Eva kind of went kind of easy on Marlo with that. I think she just focused on the hair because Marlo's stuff, her luggage came that day, so she still didn't get her stuff at the time to go and switch out that wig because Eva was like, the wig needs to be switched out. I mean, it's already fallen off your head. You can't fit in the stuff that I model. Marlo said, I'm not a model, so what's your excuse about not being able to fit it? I'm thinking, what is going on here? And he was like, the way how your body is built, you could never wear anything that's a model runway ready. And she said, well, that's why I can afford to get it custom. It's called custom. I'm thinking, this was a long time coming for them. And then Eva talked about, okay, well, maybe you will work for plus size. Cynthia kind of looked like, girl, you better stop or you're behind. You better start where you're ahead. You're winning. Don't do it. And then Marlo's like, okay, yeah, maybe for your mother. I said, no, don't do that. Eva was like, I'm not Shamari. I am not Shamari. I'll come after you for that. I will. And then Eva stood up and he was like, 78th and Normandy, don't play with me. I ain't the one. I said, well, that's the hood. I'm kidding, but I'm not. And it was a mess. Now, I've been doing this since 18. Own the stuff I have. Marlo's like, no, the stuff is picked for you. You're a fraud. You're a fraud. Your license is a fraud. At one point, I think the ambassador was laughing like the rest of them, and she was just trying to hide it. Oh God! Eva was smoking. Marlo was like, "Look, you trying to die early because what about that breastfeeding? What about that breastfeeding?" And I think that's where it came to the kids thing, because Eva said she'll pray for her, and she was like, "Okay, you're a little bitter," and so things kind of jumped. And I was just like, wait a minute. With your little hoodie helmet that you wear. And then it was like, okay, I'll pray for you. And things did take a turn because Marlo said, stay in a child's place. You're a child. And she said, she has 2 girls. This is how you call me a child. You have 2 kids by 2 different men. And she said, well, that's great. You're right. But you have nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh. It just, Eva the Diva came out. Marlo looked tired because Marlo isn't used to that. And then as soon as they get off the bus, they're okay. See, this is the mess I'm talking about. They go and see Nene, and Nene was over it. Nene didn't want to talk to anyone. So then we see this quick little clip, and I'm glad that they kept it in there, of Shamari. Her sons started to cry, and she sang to them, and it calmed them. And I said, See, that's when you know you are blessed. That's when you know you is blessed. Now, obviously, I know that that's a big thing for parents, especially moms, how it's very soothing for their children to hear their voice, especially some type of tune. But Shamari can sing, so that made it even better. And I'm a little confused about why Nene had a wig that had 1,000,001 curls, which was fine. It was fine. Except for the fact that she ended up not wearing it. She ended up doing like a ponytail. I'm thinking, she probably looked in the mirror and said, they're going to get her on social media, so let me just stop. Nene's embracing the take your shoes off custom, even in her room, and Cynthia and Marlo have to go and give her the lowdown of what's going on. Now, Eva gets to talk to Tanya, and Tanya's hurt. Tanya's hurt because she feels like her and Nene were close, and so she just didn't understand why Nene would go and speak negatively about her relationship. And like I said, here's the thing. Tanya is a nice person. Nene's supposed to be her friend. Nene jumped on her, and she did not expect that. And for her, it came out of left field. And so, fun fact, when I was little, I took some scissors and I cut it, and I think I even pulled the hair out, so hair hasn't really grown right there ever since. But anyway, or not in full. But anyway, Marlo and Cynthia are recounting what happened with Eva. And Nene, she wasn't going at Eva or anything. She was, at this time around, she wasn't really defending Eva like she used to. Eva was just saying, look, labels is labels. We all have labels. We all like labels. We all can afford labels. But we all don't need to consistently talk about labels. I said agree. So let's move on from the label talk. Label. Now everyone gets dressed. And everyone, I guess, for this was on time. I'm not sure what the time frame was. But they all look nice. They all look ready. And I had a feeling, I was just kind of looking around. I'm thinking, this looks like Times Square. This still looks like Times Square. Lord, a New Yorker saying Times Square. This looks like Times Square. And everyone is moderately dressed. They're almost dressed like, not business casual, but like if it was a Friday at a corporate office and you could wear your regular clothes. That's what it looked like. I'm thinking, oh Lord, they are standing out. They are standing out. But they go to this karaoke bar and they have a great time. This is Music Heals, and I feel like I heard Shamari singing Rihanna's Only Girl in the World. I think that's what she was singing. And then they eventually sang Understanding. And Understanding brought them together. You know, Candy was like, oh, this is my song. This is my key. This is my moment. Sing at full volume. Volume. And the next day, tragedy. Eva gets a call from back home that they're going to have to take her grandfather off of the breathing tube, and so she hits up Tanya because she was talking to Tanya yesterday the most. So she hits up Tanya, and Tanya reaches out to all the other ladies, and all the other ladies slowly come in. I said, look at Marlo, she got her clothes because she's in this kimono. She has her hair done up. I said, look at Marlo. Anyway, one by one, the ladies come in, and even when Nene comes in, she was very cordial with Tanya, because Tanya, of course, will be cordial, so Nene was cordial right back. And, you know, they're making her laugh. They're making Eva laugh, and Eva even tells a story about her grandfather's name, but his nickname is Smitty. I forgot what his regular name is. I said, ooh, that's a name. I know it started with a T. I was like, that is a name. Anyway. Now it's the next day. Again, remember, they were all warned about being on time. And what I realized from what happened in this scene, or in the following scene, was also why. I already said it previously, aside from respect and customs, everything starts on time. It's not a situation where they're just waiting for them. It's, okay, this is what we normally do, and you can be a part of it as well, as long as you hit this time period, because everyone shows up on time. Everyone's considerate of each other's time, even if they don't want to be. So everything happens when it's supposed to. They don't push things back. Now, one by one, everyone's getting on. Everyone looks great. Nene said that she was on her way. Perfect. Nene was late. The person, when the trip started, said she does not want to wait for anyone, has been the one that everyone's been waiting on. So Nene was late. And so this time, because I'm sure the woman knew the type of thing that they were going to, because they didn't know, they had to be on time. It started already when they got there. They were late. Nene got there 2 minutes later, and I said, oh my God, she can probably see the bus. And then the thing was, the woman said, no, we have to go. We can send something else to pick them up, and that was the plan. There was something right around the corner to come and get Nene, but Nene was so offended and so irritated by being left that she was like, oh, forget it. So that when people called, she ignored the call. Now they're at this performance piece because we have the geisha women, and like I said, they're doing their performance. It was very nice. After it was done, well, while that was going on, we see a producer come into Nene's room, and she's like, no, I don't want to deal with it right now. I just don't. She didn't say it like that, but that was the energy that she was giving off. So he scurries right out of there, and what ends up happening is now the ladies are playing a game. You know Candy loves games. And it was different types of games. One was Candy's game was take a fan and hit the object in the center. She won. And there's a bunch of other stuff. The losers could take a drink of sake, and that was fine. Now it was done. Now they are going back home, and we'll go back to the hotel. Actually, I think maybe they were going to eat. I think that's what was happening. They tried calling Nene again. She did pick up, and they're going to a restaurant. It wasn't a vegan restaurant. It was a vegetarian restaurant. Or maybe, they kind of say the same thing in Japan. I don't know. What I do know is Nene was game. I figured she wasn't going to have a lot of time to eat because, again, everything is on time. So this was already, once you come in, they have the stuff ready, one thing after the other. And that's why it's important for them to be on time. If they're late for one thing, it messes up everything else. And also, time is money. Come on now. Time is money. Candy was over it because Candy was looking at the food, thinking, oh, great, another thing like this again. So Nene comes along, and for some reason, I'm not sure if Nene took off her shoes, because I know, of course, you were supposed to. I don't know if she did or not, but she sits down, she has something to drink, it looks like she had some soup, and she's just been saying how she's super stressed. She didn't say it to the group, but she said it to Portia, and Portia was listening to her, and Nene said that Greg's been being really mean, and she normally calls him certain times when she knows that he'll most likely be up. He's been ignoring her calls, so she actually blocked him at this point. And I'm thinking, oh. So now it's time to leave. They're all going to get on the bus, but before they do, Tanya wants to talk to Nene. And so, because Tanya just wants to clear the air, Tanya says, look, I really don't have a personal issue with you. It's just that when you were saying these little things about her relationship, she was trying to figure out someone who, she does consider a friend, and who brought her into this thing to go and kind of say those things. She's just not used to that. She was just surprised. Nene was saying she was very blunt with her response because she really didn't care. She really didn't feel like it was a big deal. And so that's why she was, like I said, blunt, and some would even say callous. And Nene's whole thing is, look, you're supposed to be smart enough to know. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. She didn't say that to her face. She said in the confessional. She was just like, you have a college degree. Aren't you supposed to be able to tell the difference between, when someone says this and that's how they feel versus someone says that? This is about energy. This is about energy, Miss Leeks. And your energy has been off this entire trip. We understand why. But that doesn't mean that we're just going to go and be 100% okay with it. Your energy, due to something bad going on, doesn't give you the excuse. And this is the thing that a lot of people have. They think because bad things are happening, that it just means that everyone else can be their emotional punching bag. That's not how real life works. Sorry! I know that's how a lot of people navigate real life, but that's not how real life works. So thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week.